Nothing there.
You guys ready? All right. Welcome. We're going to call to order the Effingham County Board of Commissioners meeting this January 16th, 2024. Roll call, Mr. Floyd.
Here.
Mr. Burdette.
Here.
Mr. Corbett's here. Mr. Deloach.
Here.
Mr. Loper.
Here.
And Mr. Kiefer.
Here.
Sorry for the lateness, but I got a call at 4:30 that had no water at my house or my mom's house, so I had to run home, see if I can get a repairman out there so we can have some water during these rough times in cold weather. So I apologize again. We'd all rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Gracious Father, we are so thankful for the opportunity to come tonight and serve our community as commissioners. We thank you for our staff and all that they do and put into preparing for this time. Thank you for those constituents who trust us with these responsibilities and for their input tonight and for all the discussions. We pray that you'll give us wisdom to discern and do those things that are good for the folks we serve and that are pleasing to you. So we ask your guidance tonight in this. We pray you'll watch over our families out here tonight in this cold weather, the elderly, and pray that the next 2 or 3 days will not be detrimental to the health of any of our friends and family in Effingham or anywhere around. We ask these in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any corrections or additions to the agenda? Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and board members, we do have one requested change tonight. That change is under unfinished business. It's item number 3. Planning Board recommends approving an application by MRD Partners LLC for a sketch plan. The applicant is requesting to postpone this item to February 20th.
February 20.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other corrections or additions to the agenda?
There are not, sir.
Do you have a motion to approve the agenda with the item correction noted?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Floyd to approve the agenda with the noted corrected item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no no's, we have our agenda. First item on our agenda tonight is the election of a vice chair for 2024. In the rotation process, I think had Mr. Deloach and then Mr. Kiefer served this past year. I think it actually would probably fall to the far left, but I think you'd rather just pass it on down. We try to traditionally rotate it among the commissioners who would like to have that opportunity. Mr. Burdette, it's yours. Would you receive a nomination for that?
Yes, sir, I would.
All right, somebody make a nomination for Mr. Burdette to serve as vice chair.
I'll make a motion for Commissioner Burdette to be the next vice chairman for the Board of Commissioners.
You have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Floyd for vice chair, and you have your ballots before you. If you would fill those out and pass them down to Mr. Floyd, he'll give them to the clerk.
So that'll be your nomination from Commissioner Deloach and the second by Commissioner Floyd. Once the ballots have been received and read, then you will make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
If he gets the needed votes.
So you need these?
We're gonna pass it down.
Okay.
Yeah. Sealed. I think you guys are gonna read them out all anyway, aren't you? All right, Madam Clerk, if you'll read the results, and then we'll do whatever else you tell me I gotta do to get this item underway.
Yes, sir. The votes are as follows for your vice chair for 2024. Commissioner Burdette by Commissioner Floyd. Commissioner Burdette by Commissioner Burdette. Commissioner Burdette by Commissioner Kiefer. Commissioner Burdette by Commissioner Loper. And Commissioner Burdette by Commissioner Deloach.
Man, clean race.
And for the chairman as well, Commissioner Burdette.
So we have a motion and a second, and we have the tally. All in favor of approving this tally, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, Commissioner Burdette, of the second district, you are the vice chair for 2024.
Thank you.
A lot
I'll
of
do my
work
best.
involved.
Yeah. I've been working on passing things off at work so I can put a lot more time into it and
Sounds
do a
good.
good job.
Sounds good. Next item is our minutes. Consideration to approve the December 4th, 2023 work session minutes and the December 5th, 2023 minutes. Do you have a motion to approve, or any corrections, additions first?
I was not there for one of them, so I just.
Which one were you not there for?
I wasn't there for
The 5th?
the last meeting.
Should I take a vote on each one individually then?
He wasn't here for either.
Oh, not either one. Okay, you just abstain when it comes to
Yeah,
the
I'm
vote. Okay. Any corrections or additions?
I make a motion to approve both sets of minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second Mr. Deloach. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. And we'll note that Commissioner Loper abstained. Well, welcome our public tonight. You're probably all here to wish Commissioner Loper a happy birthday. I think today's his birthday, 85 years.
Yep.
I hope I have the health you have at 85 years of age. Congratulations,
Happy
sir.
birthday.
Just hang in there, that's all we got.
Yep, we could all wish to have that kind of health at 85 years of age. Congratulations, my friend. Welcome to our public again. Thank you for being here. The agenda items are what we're going to discuss tonight, and only the agenda items. If you have another item, please contact our clerk or our manager and plan for a future meeting. Keep your remarks to the agenda item. If you want to comment on agenda item, please come to the podium, state your name, and then share what you want to share, so we'll have that record. And then all the correspondence for these meetings, the documents are on our website in our clerk's office. Hope you've had a chance to review those, and we'll be ready to discuss at the appropriate time. And with those comments, we'll move to our consent agenda. It's number 10 on our agenda. There's only 4, I think, consent agenda items. I have to read those, and then without any discussion, we can have a vote on them. Item number 1 is consideration to renew the memorandum of understanding with Effingham County United Methodist Campground for use of a critical workforce shelter and/or post-event shelter. Item 2 is consideration to approve grant funding from North Fork Southern for a UAS drone. Item 3 is consideration to approve to ratify and affirm resolution number 23-032 to adopt the 2023 Hazardous Mitigation Plan. Item number 4 is consideration to approve the 2024 statewide mutual aid and assistance agreement. That is our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Kiefer to approve this consent agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, consent agenda passes unanimously. Move to item number 11 under new business, unfinished business. The first item is consideration to approve the second reading of an application by MRD Partners, LLC, Nolan Andrews as agent for Ronald V. Roberts and Barry Checkin to rezone 18.5 acres located at 4823, 4838, and 4884 McCall Road from R2 to AR1 from R2 and AR1 to I1 to allow for warehouse development, map number 450D, parcel number 4A, 4B, and 5 in the second district. This was postponed from 11/7 and then again from 12/5/23. Do we have a motion to approve the second reading?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Burdette, second by Mr. Floyd to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 2, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by MRD Partners LLC as agent for Ronald V. Roberts and Barry Checkin, requiring a variance from section 3.4 to reduce required development buffers from industrial to residential located on McCall Road, proposed zoning I-1, map number 450D, parcel number 4A, 4B, and 5 in the second district. Do we have a motion to approve the second reading?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Burdette, second by Mr. Kiefer to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. For those who are just listening, we're not just flying through this for a reason. We've already had public hearings, discussed it, put conditions, and they're all related. That was all approved at last meeting, so we just want to see if there's any other conditions. There's not, so they've been approved through the second reading. Item 3 is delayed to 2/20/24, so we go to item number 4. The planning board recommends denying an application by Lex Bazemore as agent for Wanda R. Williams to rezone 17.67 acres located on Race Path Road from AR1 to R4 with the conditional use to allow for an RV park, map number 412, parcel number 5A in the 4th district. This was postponed to 10/2 to 11, from 10/2, from 11/7 to 12/5. I want to say it might have been postponed earlier than that one time, back in September or August. I don't remember, but I thought this was the 4th time. Anyway, we've already had a public hearing, but I'm going to open a public hearing just because I know there are probably some constituents who are here, and I want to be fair to those who have come time and time again, and it got postponed. But it's going to be very brief. If you want to take about 3 or 4 minutes from the side. First of all, those who are speaking against it, if you want to make a few comments, remind us of where we were at when we left the last meeting, that'd be great, just 3 or 4 minutes. Then I'll give same amount of time if the ones you're asking for it want to speak to those items as well. And then we're going to close it. Won't be long because we already had long public hearing meetings on this, okay? So from those who want to speak against, might be good to choose one because it's going to be a very short time.
Pictures here, if you guys don't mind. My name is James Gerbasi. I'm at 700 Race Path Road, literally a stone's throw away from where this proposed site is. You guys have heard our arguments, but I just want to touch base on some of the key points before you make this decision. R4 zoning in your ordinance says that provide separate areas for mobile home developments because mobile homes are constructed of different design standards than conventional dwelling units, and the mixture of the two in close proximity has a destabilizing effect on both housing types. It's all residential there. Everyone that lives there, there are people that don't live on that property who are for this. They're all related to the applicant. They do have some property around there, but they don't live there. Not one single person on that road that lives there is for this. The road is in pretty poor condition, as you guys can see by those pictures. That picture, that pothole was 3-4 weeks ago, I believe. That's on the bridge there, and it hasn't been repaired properly. It was patched, they filled it up, but it's gonna wash out again as it washed out again. In that hole, it's hard to see, it's not a very good picture, but it's 3 feet in both directions. When you get up on it, you can see it. So it's amazing that no one got hurt and drove their car in it and got hurt and damaged their vehicles. You see the road is just crumbling away. It's just the fly ash road with the chip and tar on there. It's not wide enough. The R4 requires 2 entrances. We were told at one of the previous meetings that the entrance, you would go straight in. According to their site plan, it's not straight in off that curve. That road's not wide enough right there to navigate a truck and a trailer and a camper. And the Class A CDL driver, and had my CDL since I was 22 years old, and I can tell you that is a horrible recipe for disaster. I think it's a safety issue. The road, again, the road's narrow. When we pass each other, we pull over and give space to each other, but you start adding 110 lots, potential of 220 vehicles up and down that road, it's going to be destroyed. There's no the county doesn't own any more property other than the road and the ditch. So if you were to widen it, you'd have to do so at the expense of all the landowners there. You'd have to take our property in order to benefit someone who wants to put a business there. No one that lives there thinks it's fair, and I hope that you guys just stand by your ordinance and just make the right choice.
Thank you, appreciate it. Just about show of hands, if you're a resident that lives connecting to or near that property and you're against it tonight, would you raise your hand so I could just see? Okay, that's consensus of the residents in that area? Okay, all right, very good. All right, we'll open up to those who want to speak in favor of this rezoning request.
Mr. Chairman, would it be possible to have Mr. Gerbazi send us those pictures as well? Staff has not received those pictures.
Sure, you can have these.
Just to make sure we have those for our file.
You can have mine.
Would you rather an electronic copy
You
or?
want electronic copy?
Either way.
Okay, well, you can start with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Lex Bazemore. I am Hobo Trails, also here working with the Williams family, the Ron family. I'm trying to get this changed from Ag 1 over to R4. This is a 110 site RV park targeting long-term tenants. We'll start out with 24 sites in the first phase. This is on 17 acres. It's all currently, it's a fair amount of natural volunteer ponds on there, nothing planted. We plan on keeping plenty natural ponds as possible, building the roads and the sites around that. That's what our tenants want as campers and reviews and such, and that's what we plan on giving them, as natural as possible of an area as possible. This site, although not the absolute perfect site, I mean, I'd love to have some property on Highway 21 possibly, but that's not on our cards. This is a property we have, and feel that it's completely adequate for what we're asking. Being that this is long-term RVs, they're going to be going down this road approximately one time. At the minimum, they'd be leaving 30 days later. So yes, there's potentially traffic's going to be going up and down the road. More so, it's going to be it's going to be riding vehicles, trucks, small cars, pickup trucks that are pulling the RVs to get in there, things of that nature. The water and the sewer in this park will be self-sufficient. Both of these are governed by the state on a state level and by the EPD, and really it's not subjected to our influence on it. It's pretty much dictated by them as to what's required, and we'll have to adhere to what they demand of us. This is not this RV park is designed for contractors, professionals working in the area. This is not riffraff looking for a weekend getaway, party, and so forth. These are professionals driving professional trucks, driving very expensive motorhomes that certainly are not going to be driving down the road recklessly. This road that we're discussing is a race path road. And I think I'll show in just a minute that this road is sufficient for RV traffic for the short term. It's only going to be going in once. If I'm lucky enough that a tenant's going to be staying for 5 months, that means in a 5-month period, that RV is going to go down Race Path Road. And 5 months later, it's going to be leaving down Race Path Road. Now, you'll see on our site plan, and you'll see in the video here in just a minute, that this road is sufficient for an RV to go down. It's plenty sufficient for 2 RVs to go down, and as well as past one another. What we have proposed is that the road coming off of Ron Station is our only road entering into the park. The signs, the way the park is promoted, when they call to get reservations and so forth, they're going to be driven, directed down Ron Station Road. And as you'll see in the video in just a second, this road is 1/2 a mile race path road from Ron Station Road to the entrance of our park. The exit, which is the park, is to the south of the property. And as you'll see, there's a no right-hand turn sign that we're going to be putting in place. There's also a left-hand turn only sign. There's been some discussion with the county that an additional sign on the road itself to the south, whether it be by weight limits, by axles, so forth, could be placed at that point, prohibiting any vehicles going toward the right over to Ralph Ron Road. I totally agree with Mr. Gravazzi just said. The pictures that he's showing down there by the culvert pipes, it's not safe. It's questionably safe as whether or not it's good enough for a pickup truck. much less RV, or a pickup truck pulling an RV.
It's a video, because we're gonna
Yes,
bring
sir.
this to a close in about 2 minutes.
Sure, yeah. If, Esperanza, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and play in the video, please. All right, we're going down Race Path Road here, and you'll see that this is a straight shot. This is approximately 1/2 mile. It's actually just less than a 1/2 mile. All the property on the right-hand side is the railroad tracks. The property on the left-hand side that you see right now and goes down approximately half of the road is Ron family property. You can see here clearly passing safely. Again, the property on the left-hand side is owned by the Ron family. Reuben Ron, who's been here speaking on the behalf of this park 2 different times. And shortly, we're going to pass by the 3 residents, only 3 residents on this road that we would pass by. The first 2 you'll see here. Ms. Verna, could you pause that right there, please? Thank you very much. We heard earlier how narrow this road is and how unsafe it is to bring down an RV. We can clearly see here that the road is adequate enough for an 18-wheeler. It's adequate enough for a 55-foot trailer of an 18-wheeler with a double sleeper cab. As you'll see in just a minute when the camera turns around and heads again straight down the road, that this driveway here that this 18-wheeler is backed into is deliberately a 90-degree turn. So if this road is sufficient enough to be able to handle an 18-wheeler backing into a 90-degree turn into a driveway, I think we'll all agree that this RV path is more than adequate. It's going to, as you'll see in a second, it's going to go directly straight without a turn into our park. Could you continue to play the video, please? Thank you. Here we are passing by the 3rd resident. Again, the railroad tracks are completely on the right. This, as you'll see in the site map just a minute ago, we're going to go run straight in there. You could take your hands off the wheel and continue straight right there if you will. It'll go straight into our park without a turn. As you can see, turn here. The large tree that you see straight ahead is the corner of the property line.
Okay.
The-
Particularly you want to show us, because we need to close this out.
And this is the corner of the property line right here. So at that pine tree right there, that is where the exit will be. You could stop the video there. Could you show the site plan 1, please? On the site plan here, you'll see in the top portion of our entrance of our park is directly a 0-degree turn going directly into our park from the right-hand lane of Race Path Road. The entrance comes in. As you can see, it meanders through the park, all safe egress roads, which will be handled through a site plan later on, reviewed later on as well. And you can see in the bottom of the plans right there, there is it indicate through the exit right there, no right-hand turn. And on the left-hand side, we'll put a sign that also says left-hand turn only.
I think we're getting into, if we get past the zoning, to be, like you said, be the site plan.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure we need to go down that road at this point.
I agree. Yeah, this is strictly zoning. We're not doing, the site plan will have to be approved. We have many meetings to go through for approving that and look forward to that. This is strictly for zoning. Okay. I'm just trying to show that this is more than safe road for the occasional travel of an RV through that. These are going to be passenger vehicles. They're going to be going up and down this road for the most part. And I think we've shown that the road is plenty safe for pedestrian traffic.
Understand.
And if it can handle an 18-wheeler of that size backing into a 90-degree turn, it can certainly handle an RV going straight.
Okay.
So,
Make that point. Thank you.
thank you very much. This is, I feel like, a perfect location. To the north of the property, we have the railroad. To the west of the property, we have Little Ebenezer Creek. We've created a large buffer in between that creek. And on the left hand, on the south side of the property there, that 412-6A, That property is owned by Robert Ron, who's been here and spoke on our behalf twice.
Go ahead and cut this off because we already had two
No worries.
public hearings and we delayed it, and I don't want to, I think we understand what we're asking for.
Yes, sir.
So,
Sure enough.
but because y'all took about 8 or 9 minutes, I'm gonna give them a couple more minutes. You had something you wanted to say? Final reminder of what we're discussing here, not go back through all those same issues.
Certainly.
I'm Pierce Osborne. I live at 690 Race Path. I don't want to take up too much time, but if they're going to show video of the road, I just want to show what it looks like when two cars actually pass the road. So I'd like to pass this picture around for you all to see.
And I've seen that myself, but we'll do it.
And this is the straight section.
Yeah. I've been down that road several times.
I know the road well.
Is that all you wanted to show? All right, I'm gonna close this public hearing. I'm gonna make a couple of comments, and I'll see if there's any discussion from the board, then I'll entertain a motion, because we spent a lot of time on this one. You know, I've said from all along that if the road was adequate and the constituents were good with it, then I'd have no problem with it. I don't think either of those hurdles for me have been crossed over. It's not so much the danger of going, I think putting that kind of traffic on a chip seal, narrow road would, I can even see the ditches in the video that Mr. Bazemore showed, that it's right there on the edge. Even if they go off a little bit, and I've seen cars do that, they go off with just trucks and cars and vehicles, it's gonna wear that shoulder down again and again, and it's gonna be money that we have to pay for, to fix that road. But, you know, it's adequate for the few residents that are there. I'm assuming that semi is legally there because of the allowance to park your vehicle at night at your resident, right?
It was a delivery, sir.
Huh?
Just a delivery.
It was just a delivery, okay. So it's not it's not a business where they're doing it every day? Okay, okay. All right, got you. So anyway, I would make sure that truck was legal, because I know sometimes people bring trucks home when they're not legal.
But they wouldn't be able to bring the trailer.
Correct, just the truck.
Yeah.
So that was just a delivery. Okay. So there's times when there's hardships and you gotta make that delivery. But for those two reasons, I couldn't support it as the commissioner, because the road's not adequate and the constituents that are most affected by it, because it is a residential area. It's not an RV park, it's not a trailer park, and I wouldn't want to see it become a trailer park one day. So I would encourage the board to not support it. But is there any discussion on the board before I entertain a motion of approval or disapproval?
Mr. Mayor Bazemore, you've got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go to that, but I voted for it, so I'm gonna vote for it again. I'm gonna make a motion to approve with staff recommendations, even though I have some feelings about it, but I voted for it before, so I'm gonna vote for it now.
So you're making a motion to approve it?
Yes, with staff recommendations.
Okay, does it have a second? Not hearing a second, the motion is, does it pass, didn't get a second, it's dead. Do I have a motion to deny?
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
Second.
Make sure I got the right one here. All right, motion by Mr. Deloach to deny, second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor of denying the request, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. We got one no, Mr. Loper. And so the rezoning request is denied by the Board of Commissioners. So we won't have a need for the second reading. It's a good project for the right place. I think you said it right a while ago on Highway 21, or I've seen some of them that are, as you're going down 119, they're way away from where the residential areas are, and that might be a place, because I know that type of housing could be useful in the right place, but this is probably not gonna be it with the road and the residents not being for it. Thank you for your time, though. Item number 5 is not need. We go to item number 6.
New business one,
I'm trying to see, my front and back, let me see if I turn, right here.
New business, no?
Yep, new business 1. All right, new business. Item number 1, consideration to approve resolution 24-001 to amend the 2024 fiscal year budget.
Good afternoon, Mark Barnes, Finance Director. Staff is requesting approval for this amendment. This amendment covers 4 budget items, carrying forward the budget for 2 dump trucks that were approved last fiscal year, and due to lead times, they're going to arrive this year. It also allocates funding for a mandatory radio system upgrade, and you're going to have that later on under new business 11, the specifics of that item. And on the smaller side, it covers a new prison oven replacement and some grant revenue. Staff recommends alternative number 1 to approve the budget amendment.
Okay, any question, discussion, or motion for alternative one?
I'll make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Burdette to approve alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 2, consideration to approve an increase in the daily per diem pay for jurors.
Yes, sir. The grand jury convened in December, and through the clerk of courts and per Georgia Code Section 15-12-7, the grand jury requests and they recommend that ECBOC approves increasing the jury selection and jury duty pay from $25 per day to $40 per day, and increasing the daily per diem rate from $7 a day to $10 per day.
I wouldn't want to do it for that. That's still pretty low. Any question, discussion, or motion for alternative one?
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Burdette, second, Mr. Floyd, for alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 3, consideration to approve an increase in the daily compensation and lunch pay of members of the Board of Equalization.
Yes, sir. This one also comes from the grand jury, and they request, again, through the clerk of courts and per the Georgia Code, to increase the Board of Equalization compensation from $50 per day to $90 per day, and their lunch pay from $10 per day to $15 per day. This is kind of similar to the previous one. It's kind of based on state law. They have the right to request that from the Board of Commissioners. And the grand jury recommends alternative number 1.
Be another, about $105 all total.
Yes,
I
sir.
had some questions today on this one, though. I asked the manager about, is Mr. Jason here?
No, I did reach out to him. He gave me an
All right.
answer. So when they meet about between 15 and 20 times per year, and it's usually a full workday.
Full workday?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's usually an 8-hour workday, depending on the number of appeals they get.
Well, that's a very reasonable pay. My question, my question was, is do they meet for 2 hours and they get within an hour of finishing? They say, let's meet tomorrow again because we get another $105 if we come back tomorrow and not finish it today. So I want to know, how often do they meet and how long do they meet? And that's not enough pay then probably, so I'm good. Do you have a motion for alternative one?
So moved. Second.
Motion, Mr. Loach, second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 4, consideration to approve resolution number 24-002 declaring the results of the November 7, 2023 election.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. On November 7th, the public voted on a referendum to approve the extension of the 1% T-SPLOST for another 5 years. And also the second question was the imposition of, they'd be able to issue bonds up to half of that amount, so $60 million. It was approved 2,464 yes to 2,176 no. And this just recognizes the results of the election so that we could move forward with the any sort of bond issuance with regards to this.
Absolutely. Congratulations to our lead registrar. Excellent job again, and we haven't missed a beat in your leadership, and everything's gone smooth, and we really appreciate you and all that you do there. All right, we have a motion to approve Resolution 24-002 declaring the results of the November election.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Thank you again. Item number 5, consideration to approve a final plat submitted by Victoria Little as agent for Kubaline?
Cubaline.
Kubaline?
Cubaline.
Cubaline. Briggs Estate located on Old Louisville Road and Riverside Drive, consisting of 7 lots, map number 272, parcel number 17 in the 3rd District.
Yes, sir. So the applicant has submitted a final plat for the estate subdivision that will subdivide the parcel into 7 tracts. A 60-foot private access easement has been granted to the parcel that does not have road frontage. The Effingham County future land use map for this area is projected to be agricultural residential, so this is in line with that. And staff recommends alternative number 1.
So these are all AR1 lots,
Yes, sir.
and AR1 has to be at least 5 acres or more?
Yes, sir.
And all these, it's just a redrawing. Any question, discussion, or motion for alternative 1?
I'll make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Loper for alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. You are
Thank you very
subdivided.
much. I just wanted to say I was Vicky, Victoria Little, for those that know me the most.
Yeah.
And I wanted to answer any questions, but she had it all down and the papers were great, and I'm happy. Thank
You're
you.
good. Thank you, Vicki. Appreciate you. Item number 6, consideration to approve resolution 24-002 to transmit the fiscal year 23 capital improvement element CIE annual update to the Coastal Region Commission and Department of Community Affairs review. This is just academic, so we keep our government status and can get government help with the loans if we need it.
That's correct.
So, any motion to approve alternative 1?
I'll make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second, Mr. Floyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Now, one day we're gonna need to do a real CIE.
Right.
And get them all on there and get it, but this one just makes us compliant.
It's coming.
Good. Item number 7, consideration to approve a development agreement for Phase 2 of the North Gate project.
Good evening, Allison Bruton, Procurement and Capital Projects Manager. Yes, sir, so this agreement sets the terms between the county and the other parties regarding the design, development, and provision of water and sewer service, as well as the design and development construction of the intersection, which will be at Old Augusta Road and General Way. This agreement has been reviewed by Effingham County staff and approved to form by the Effingham County Attorney. Staff recommends alternative 1.
Any discussion or questions?
Make a motion to approve alternative number 1.
I'll second.
Motion, Mr. Loper, second, Mr. Deloach, to approve alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Moves us to item number 8, consideration to approve change order number 1 for Southern Civil LLC for the construction of the Hodgeville Lift Station.
Yes, sir. So this is actually a deduction on the contract total due to some changes in scope, which are detailed on the change order form. Staff recommends alternative 1.
Motion to approve alternative 1.
A motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Burdette, second, Mr. Deloach, to approve alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes.
Stations aren't cheap.
Hmm?
Lift stations aren't cheap.
No, that was $3 million something.
I think we've been working on that one since I've been on the board.
Yeah, it's a huge redo, because that's what's tied into that 16-inch line that's going, isn't it?
Yeah, so, this project actually, when we did the design, we did the modeling, and the modeling determined that this is going to require a new force main. That's a separate project,
Yeah.
which we're in the process of getting right away for.
But it's gonna match it with all that. Originally, if you remember, we had planned to maybe put some kind of lateral line and do it. It was less expensive, but none of that was gonna work when we had it modeled, so we need redundancy of a new line, and so, yeah. To your point, it's, Mr. Loach, is very expensive for a lift station. What's they say, crap costs a lot of money, don't it? Item number 9, consideration to approve a proposal from Pond for design of development of various Effingham County parks.
Yes,
Make a
sir.
motion to approve.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna,
You can
are
make
you
a motion-
discussing it?
No, you can make a motion to approve.
Go right on
Oh,
ahead.
well, Make a motion to approve alternative 1. We can discuss it, but I've read it.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Deloach. The interesting thing on this is that it's a 50% plan. I like what they're doing in staffing, getting it to a certain point so we can look and see what the issues and problems before we get a full design. And then it'll come back for approval for a full design. but that should solve some issues we've had to pass, finding it, property lines don't line up and things can't be done the way they thought it could be done. And then we spend a lot of money engineering for nothing.
How's the right-of-way coming on the Force Main?
It's going,
Okay.
yes. We've got 3 different easement agreements that we're working on for that one, and we've got a couple changes to 2 of them that we're working on, so we're getting through there.
And we're working
Surprise.
to avoid a residential parcel if we can.
Yeah.
But they're doing some field work right now to see if that's possible.
We have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 10, consideration to approve, to ratify, and affirm a payment to Bryan County Sewer Connection. I don't know if we need discussion. We got a connection. I got a question that I meant to get a chance to ask you this afternoon. This is just the tap fee. This is not the capacity that we'll have to pay.
No,
Council
this
for an industry,
is
isn't it?
just simply to install the necessary connection valves
The manhole
at
and all.
their 2 locations.
Is this cost or is this a fee they've just set?
No, this is cost. They actually gave us,
So we are actually paying the cost of it?
yes.
Okay, all right. All right, any discussion or a motion to approve alternative 1?
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Burdette, second Mr. Floyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 11, consideration to approve, to ratify, and affirm payment to Quality Recording Solutions LLC related to radio interference upgrades.
If y'all do have any questions, we have Chief Hodges and Jay Spinks here.
I think we just gotta have it because you can't, it's causing
Pretty much.
problems, right?
Yes, sir.
So
And it's a
there's-
ratification. It was kind of a surprise. We didn't really have a choice but to
Yeah,
move.
that's what I read in the packet.
I'll make a motion for alternative 1.
So, Mr. Deloach is making a motion to approve alternative 1, second Mr. Burdette. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Number 12, consideration to approve a proposal from PON for the Effingham County Transportation Master Plan.
Sir, so we did request this proposal to get the transportation master plan updated. This will incorporate results of other studies that have been done, plan development, relook at critical transportation links, and so on and so forth. There is an additional task that POND included for policy guidance, which will assist regarding implementation of recommended improvements and ongoing changes. So it's up to the board if you'd like to move forward with that, which is alternative 1, or without, which is alternative 2.
Okay. I did talk to Tim, just for the board, in case you're not real familiar with what they're asking here. Maybe you are. I don't want to be redundant, but
Yeah, sure. So, we just updated a couple years ago our transportation master plan, but since then, we've undertaken studies that are not included in that because they were done after, like the Old Augusta Corridor, Goshen Road Corridor Study, the Southeast Road or the East-West Corridor, which is we're hoping to get wrapped up in the next few weeks. But then it also incorporates studies and recommendations that were done outside of us, like the MPO did a regional freight transportation plan, and the GDOT did that Coastal Empire plan, which had a lot of projects for Effingham County in it. And so we want to make sure our plan constantly has all of the recommendations in there. Because it is one of the characteristics that the funding agencies look at to check the viability, is the project listed in the transportation master plan for the county. So, and plus, I think you'll notice with a lot of our plans, as new information comes in, we're going to collect a bunch of it and then try and keep the plans updated when we can. But this is the first one.
I think it makes sense to have a updated master plan, so I'll make a motion to approve alternative 1.
I'll second.
motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Kiefer. Yeah, and that was my question, because we just did this in 2021. I'm thinking 2 years later, we got to redo this thing for this amount of money, but I didn't realize it had so many studies that we've done. DOT's given us their information, the MPO that you and I went to, they've got their, so we got to mesh all this to one, so you don't have bridges that meet like this and roads that, whatever, so. Anyway, get a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none no's, it passes unanimously. Item number 13, consideration to approve a proposal from Tremco for risk evaluation and cleanup standards development for the Atlas site.
Yes, sir. So Tramco has been performing the tasks related to the remediation of the Atlas site. They've submitted a voluntary investigation and remediation plan to the EPD. That was in November of '22. And the site was accepted into the voluntary remediation program in February of '23. So this proposal is for them to calculate site-specific risk reduction standards for soil and groundwater based on the current site features and future planned use in coordination with the EPD. Staff recommends alternative 1.
This will give us what we need for design to start covering it and do what we got to do to start using it. Is that right? Okay,
It
it's
gets
just-
us to the next step.
This is the gap between that and the design to start using this place.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating process, but this gets us kind of caught up on what we need to encapsulate.
Gotcha. Have a motion for alternative 1?
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Burdette, second, Mr. Floyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no no's, it passes unanimously. Boy, we've been trying to get this one.
Yeah,
in
he
some
beat
kind of
me. It's fine.
form, huh?
I know, I was trying to stop.
It's fine.
No, I mean, anyway,
Oh,
be good to get that done so we can start using that as a recreational site. Item number 14, consideration to approve task order number 2 for Thomas and Hutton for a force main extension feasibility study.
Yes, sir. So staff did request this proposal from Thomas and Hutton, and this will, the feasibility study is for a force main extension that will connect the city of Guyton and city of Springfield to the Effingham County wastewater treatment plant. Thomas and Hutton will develop a technical memo with 30% design plans, describing the potential connection and provide alternatives. Staff recommends alternative 1.
I just want to make sure the public and our board are fully aware that this project here is huge for our community. It's the first time we ever taken steps toward a authority of a nature. Whether we have an authority or it's just run through the county, we can work on that as the cities so choose.
Or at
But
least large-scale cooperation.
it's large-scale cooperation, sure, it's a very collaborative effort, could save some of our cities as much as 40 and together maybe 50, 60 million dollars by working with us through this. So I'm excited about this, and we got a deadline on this, so I'm pushing staff to make sure this feasibility study happens quickly. We get our design, because I think Springfield's got a 2-year deadline that they got to have the connection if they're going to be a part of this. So
Understood.
make it a top priority.
We have a Thomas and Hutton representative here, so she's hearing this as well.
All right, very good. Yeah.
We will pass
I
it
mean,
along.
this is probably one of the biggest money-saving cooperative things we're doing right now between our counties and our cities. So that's
I like
good
the way
stuff.
large-scale cooperation sounds.
Yeah,
It's got a good ring to
it
it.
does. It
I
does.
just coined that.
Did I use that?
Make a motion to approve all number 1.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Lopez, second by Mr. Kiefer to approve alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no no's, it passes unanimously. But this is an example of what government should be doing, saving millions of dollars instead of spending millions of dollars.
I'm glad I could contribute on that and not just spending money. on
That's
everything.
right, that's right. Item number 15, consideration to approve a final plat and warranty deed submitted by Clay Palmer of Dr. Horton for Longleaf Village Phase 1 located on Goshen Road, consisting of 51 lots, map number 451, parcel number 22 in the 2nd District.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting approval of his final plat for Longleaf Village Phase 1. There is a condition of the approval that the applicant must submit a corrected final plat and deed. Staff has received that. EOM, the county attorney, and staff have reviewed everything, and it all is approved. Staff is recommending alternative 1 without the conditions.
Okay, is there any discussion or question from the commission? Hearing none, do I have a motion for alternative 1?
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Burdette, second by Mr. Floyd for alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no no's, it passes unanimously.
Yes, sir, and I'm Samantha Easton, planner 2. Sorry.
Yeah, good to have you. Thank you. Item number 16, consideration to approve to ratify and affirm a contract for the purchase of 4 acres located at 315 US Highway 80 as part of Atlas project, map number 301, parcel number 32.
Yes, so this parcel is 4 acres adjacent to the Atlas site. It was publicly listed. We entered into a contract pending approval of the board and some other contingencies such as appraisal, survey, and Phase 1 environmental work. This just ratifies the contract so we can move forward with those processes.
So we know we're not buying any problems. There's no
That's
more,
correct,
No
right.
more hidden stuff. Okay, very good. Any discussions on this purchase? It'd be great to join that to Atlas. Motion to approve, alternative one.
Make a motion, we approve alternative one.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Floyd, second, Mr. Kiefer, to approve alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 17, consideration to approve resolution 24-004 to set and publish the qualifying fees for 2024.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and board members, each election cycle, state law requires that you establish qualifying fees for the offices that are in that particular election. You have the resolution which outlines the offices which are up for election, as well as those fees as required by the base salary of 3%. Staff recommends approval.
Motion for alternative one is, alternative one
Approve
approval?
order number one.
Second.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion, Mr. Loper, is that right?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Kiefer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously.
Aisle 41.
Item number 18, consideration to approve resolution 24-005 and resolution 24-006 to reappoint Larry Braid Green and Gussie Neese to the Board of Tax Assessors.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, these individuals' offices, excuse me, expires on March 31st of this year. We have received notification by the tax assessor's office that these individuals do wish to continue serving. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve order number one.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Loper, second by Mr. Deloach to approve alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. And that gets us down to reports from commissioners and staff. I don't know we have time. Yeah, I think we'll take a 5-minute break.
Yep.
So let's do that, because I had to rush in here from fixing a well, so I need a 5-minute break. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. We'll be back with our public hearings in just a minute.
between me and the power lines, and the closest residence is well beyond the buffer required for
Yeah.
industrial, so,
Did see the facility this week. It's a beautiful facility.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, any questions or concerns?
Well, let's see if there's any opposition first.
Okay.
Anybody tonight speak in opposition against this request? Seeing no one coming forward, we'll close the public hearing and see if the board has any questions or want to give me a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I've recently been on a tour of this facility. It's really nice, high quality. And with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use.
I'll second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Kiefer to approve the conditional use. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously, and we'll note that Mr. Loper did not participate in the discussion or the vote, and he's coming back to the bench now. We still have a second hearing, second reading, so,
I'm still out.
yep, still out, okay. Planning Board recommends approving an application by Thomas Family Enterprise LLC, DBA Scotty's Potty, and,
We're gonna do a
no, I'm
second
sorry,
reading.
I missed it.
Number 2.
Number 2, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Craig Johnson for a conditional use to allow for a private and public venue in AR1 located at 1625 Stillwell Road, map number 427, parcel 14B in the 4th District.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second, Mr. Burdette, to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it is passed. And again, note that Mr. Loper did not vote on that item. Item number 3 now, the Planning Board recommends approving an application by Thompson Family Enterprises LLC, doing business as Scotty's Potty and Dumpsters for a conditional use for a rural business located at 200 Little McCall Road, map number 320, parcel number 46A in the 3rd District. We'll open a public hearing, but we'll hear from Ms. Chelsea first.
Yes, sir. So the applicant is requesting the conditional use for the rural business to operate a portable restroom and dumpster business on a portion of the property. At the December 12th, 2023 Planning Board meeting, Planning Board did recommend approval. However, staff is recommending denial, and that denial is based on the total area used for the rural business per the ordinance may not exceed 1,000 square feet. Any outside area in which the business is conducted other than parking shall be completely enclosed in a manner that the business is not visible from surrounding property, and the property on which the rural business is conducted must have frontage on public road. And with that, staff does recommend alternative number 2.
Okay, this one doesn't have frontage on a public road.
No, it does not.
Okay, we're in a public hearing. Is anyone tonight speaking in favor of this that would like to speak?
Hey, I'm Scott Thompson, the owner. Mr. Reggie will probably remember about 17, 18 years ago, I stood before the commission at that time doing the same thing when I started Scotty's Potties then. Been through a few changes, sold a few businesses, and now starting over. So looking to start back at the same place we were back in 2006, 2007, whenever it was, we put it here. Have 5 acres. My in-laws have 12 acres, and they give us 5 when we got married. We live on the back side of it. It is completely surrounded by woods. My in-laws live directly in front of us. So the area back behind my shop's about an acre that we'll be using to store the restrooms and trucks. And right now it's just 2 trucks and the restrooms and the small dumpsters. We use the smaller dumpsters. We don't do big ones, so they're all small. And the trucks that we use are smaller than my actual pickups. So it's not like we're driving large, big, heavy-duty commercial trucks through there. Again, I know the staff recommended denial because I'm not on road frontage, which I think is a good thing because nobody's seeing, my stuff back there, and nobody comes to my site. So I'm not sure why I need road frontage. Outside storage for what I'm doing, I do need outside storage. I don't want to build a big warehouse just to store porta potties in. And again, the main thing is I'm surrounded by woods. There's nothing around me for people to see, and so that's why I'm requesting approval.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else tonight speaking in favor? Anyone tonight speaking in objection to this rezoning request? Seeing no one coming forward, I'll close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, and looking at it, as the applicant said, it did look like there was, very good buffers around, all the way around on the property. And I didn't see any issues with it. So with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the request, with planning board recommendations.
Second.
This is in your district, right?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Kiefer, is that right?
I did.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no noes, it passes unanimously. I think it's good for the record to note the comments that Mr. Deloach made, though, why he's made that motion. Just because there is some things that don't comply with the 1,000 square feet and there's some extenuating reasons to do that. We don't want to set a precedent for somebody else.
Yeah.
All right, item number 4. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Thompson Family Enterprise LLC, DBA Scotty's Potty and Dumpsters for a conditional use for a rural business located at 200 Little McCall Road, map number 320, parcel number 46A in the 3rd District.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second, Mr. Burdette, to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none noes, it passes unanimously. Item number 5, Planning Board recommends approving an application by David Clough. Did I pronounce that right? Clough? Clough. Thank you. Planning Board recommends approving an application by David Clough for a conditional use for an agritourism business located at Georgia Highway 119 North, map number 407, parcel number 15A in the 3rd District.
Yes, sir. So this is our first agritourism business conditional use application. The applicant is requesting that to open a plant nursery business, which is a permitted use within the agritourism business. The applicant has provided the required concept plan and narrative to include projected growth to expand the nursery to 3 to 4 acres. At the planning board meeting, it was discussed that signs be posted on the applicant's property for no parking along Highway 119 because the applicant's property does have frontage on 119. Staff and planning board recommend alternative number 1.
All right. Is anyone tonight speaking in favor or against this conditional use?
My name is David Clough. As I talked at the last meeting, this is going to be like a backyard nursery with a farm stand on it. And we do mostly propagation, so it's not going to take up too much more than the 2 to 3 acres. If you have any questions.
Okay. We'll see if we have any questions. Thank you, sir. Anyone tonight speaking in opposition to this rezoning request? Conditional use request? Seeing no one coming forward, we'll close the public hearing and see if there's any questions from the board or a motion.
Looks like our applicant has followed all the rules and done the right thing here, so I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use.
I have one question, and I'm certain of the answer. This is all for growing there. You're not bringing in a bunch of plants from other locations and reselling. Okay. Just in the spirit of agritourism.
That's a good question, yeah. So he's growing it and then selling it as a nursery, not, gotcha.
Second.
Second by Mr. Burdette then. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no noes, it passes unanimously. Have the second reading, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by David Clough. I think I was getting that wrong. For a conditional use for an agritourism business located at Georgia Highway 119 North, map number 407, parcel number 15A in the 3rd District.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no noes, it passes unanimously. Item number 7, the planning board recommends approving an application by John Egan request a variance from ordinance section 3.21.1 to allow for the occupation of a camper RV during home construction located at 128 Partridge Run, map number 435A, parcel number 68 in the 2nd District.
Yes, sir. So I was hoping to have the written removal of this for you. Unfortunately, that did not come through, but I did speak with the applicant today. Their building or their home did have its final inspection, and so they no longer need this variance. However, I did not have that in writing, only confirmation over the phone, and so because of that, I still needed you to hear the item tonight.
So we do need to approve it, or no
Is
action?
it contingent upon receipt of CO, it goes away?
So it
We could
would,
just
it would
approve
be.
it if they get the CO tomorrow. It's,
So they have
You know.
received, they received their final inspection and they have received their certificate of occupancy, so they no longer need the variance to,
So do they have an RV out there now?
do.
Do they have an RV out there now?
No, sir.
So we don't even need to handle this item.
But because I do not have the written, asking for withdrawal, I only had that via, telephone communication.
All right.
I couldn't,
Is it
have it
understood, or do we could take a motion to approve, but it would be removed as soon as the certificate of occupancy is issued?
but it's been issued.
It's been issued.
the certificate of occupancy has been issued already for
Well-
this
Should we
home.
just deny it? And
Well, we
Just
get,
deny it. I mean, I think that's,
that'd be appropriate.
okay, motion to deny,
I mean,
Make
I
a
think
motion
that's
to
what you-
deny.
Yeah.
motion by Mr.
Second.
Burdick to deny, second by Mr. Kiefer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it is denied. We don't need the second reading. Thank you for your help on that one. Item number 9, the planning board recommends approving an application by J. Malpin Engineering Incorporated as agent for Oleg Mitnick. Request a variance from ordinance section 3.4.1 to allow for the reduction in required buffers from 150 to 25 feet located on Highway 21, map number 465, parcel number 1 in the 5th District.
Yes, sir. So, as you said, the applicant would like to reduce the buffer between their commercially zoned parcel, which is this parcel right here, if you can follow my cursor, and the industrial zone parcel, which is up here. Again, if you can follow my cursor, from 150 feet to 25 feet due to the lot depth and the amount of wetlands present on the parcel. The applicant has combined these two parcels, and let me see if I have. The applicant has combined 465D-9B and 465-1 for the commercial business. There is a required 15-foot vegetative buffer along Highway 21 that the applicant is showing. Planning board and staff recommend alternative number 1.
And that's all that's required along 21 is a 15-foot buffer?
Yes, sir.
What kind of business is this? I know it's,
So, let's
The expansion of the 84 lumber, isn't it?
So it will be, and I'm not sure if the applicant is here tonight. It is and again, I don't want to speak for the applicant, but I believe it's
where they're accessing,
Kind of sales, I did see
it
sales.
is a sales,
on
a truck sales,
auto parts and stuff?
yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I was just only concerned to make sure we're not getting too close to 21 with that 15-foot, because those other businesses are set back, and this one's set back, but their parking is way back from 21. They got that commercial drive. They gonna access it from commercial drive?
Yes, sir.
But this request is for a variance on the back of the property, right?
In the front, isn't it?
It is for the back of the property.
And that is
so it
technically
is
the same
right-
owner between the two parcels,
Oh,
correct?
yeah, I
It
don't
is,
mind
yes,
that.
sir.
I thought I read something about requesting a 15-foot variance. Maybe you was just saying it's a 15-foot.
Yes, sir. I was just letting you know that there is a 15-foot buffer in the front along Highway 21. That is allowed.
Okay, so it's just the back.
It is just the back
the variance.
buffer,
There's a
yes, sir.
150-foot buffer between B3 and industrial,
Between heavy industrial.
heavy
Yes,
industrial.
sir.
Yeah.
But it's usually applied on the heavy industrial property, right?
And it is.
Yeah.
So it's a little, okay.
Yes, sir.
But they
and that is
recombined
part-
it, so that, I got you.
That's what made it.
That's where it's coming into play.
All right, we're in a public hearing, just make sure anyone speaking for or against this variance, seeing no one coming forward, I'll close the public hearing, entertain a motion.
I mean, look,
Hmm?
I see no problem with the variance. It's on the back side
Yeah, I don't-
against
I don't have a problem with
industrial. I mean, it's really,
Yeah,
and same owner, so,
industrial to commercial too, same owner.
I originally didn't like the, going down in 25 feet, but since it's the same owner, then it doesn't make a difference, since that detail is part of this situation.
Do I have a motion?
with that, I will, make a motion to approve, planning board and staff recommendations.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Loach to approve with planning board and staff recommendations. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. We'll go to second reading, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by J. Malpin Engineering Incorporated as agent for Oleg Mitnick, request a variance from ordinance section 3.4.1 to allow for the reduction in required buffers from 150 foot to 25 feet located on Highway 21, map number 465, parcel number 1 in the 5th District. Motion?
Make a motion to approve second reading.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Deloach to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 11, the board recommends approving an application by Michael Emery to rezone 2.5 acres located 1800 Oliver Kildare Road from AR1 to AR2 to allow for a new home site, map number 208, parcel number 1 in 3rd District.
Yes, sir. So the applicant would like to subdivide 2.5 acres to allow for a new home site. Because that does fall below that 5-acre threshold, it does need to be rezoned from AR1 to AR2. Planning board and staff recommend alternative number 1.
All right, anyone tonight speaking in favor or in opposition to this rezoning request? Seeing no one coming forward, I'll close the public hearing and entertain any question or motion.
It's a new home site for a family member, so I will
Yeah.
make a motion to approve with staff and planning board recommendations.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Kiefer to approve with planning board staff recommendations. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 12, consideration to approve second reading of an application by Michael Emery to rezone 2.5 acres located at 1800 Oliver Kildare Road from AR1 to AR2 to allow for a new home site, map number 208, parcel number 1 in the 3rd District.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second, Mr. Burdette, to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 13, in public hearings. Planning board recommends approving an application by Kathy Mezer to rezone 1.01 acres located on Long Bridge Road from AR1 to B1 to allow for a small pizza restaurant, map number 455, parcel number 119, the 5th District.
Yes, so the applicant is proposing a small pizza restaurant. The proposed development has approximately 175 feet of road frontage on Long Bridge Road. The required buffer between residentially zoned parcels and a commercial parcel is 30 feet. However, the applicant is proposing approximately 72 feet. B1 zoning is the least intense commercial zoning that is designed for small-scale retail and service businesses that cater to surrounding residential neighborhoods. Mr. Ryan Thompson made the motion for approval at Planning Board. He did add conditions such as a sketch plan be required. All buffers to residential parcels must be 50 feet and include a privacy fence, no closer than 5 feet to the property line and cannot exceed 7 feet in height, and that the only use allowed within this B1 district is cafes and restaurants. All other B1 uses will be prohibited. Planning Board and staff is recommending alternative number 1.
I just got a quick question, maybe this is a legal question. If you approve the zoning, can you actually restrict the permitted uses? Since it's not like we're adding a use or saying something like this.
We've done it in the past.
I just want to make sure we can
We did it a couple meetings ago. I kind of like it, that way you don't have a lot
Well, I
of
just want to make sure
different
this, I know if it's a conditional, we can restrict it, and I know that if it's not listed, we can do something, but I just want to make sure, if, once you zone it, can somebody come in there and say, well, that doesn't matter, I've got it zoned, you can't, it's a permitted use.
We rezoned the corner of Chimney Road in 21 and 2019, and restricted it to professional.
Yep.
We did do that.
I thought we could put whatever condition we wanted to on it.
Yeah, we did that
I
recently
know they
off
can offer
Hodgeville.
that, had that before. I know Lee in the past said you can't put it on them, but they can offer it to you. And that's why I just want to make sure,
Sure, yeah,
I just
no,
want
I
to make sure it's
understand
legal. We
that.
may have done it, but it may be because they offered it.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah,
we're
I
putting
I
it
think
on
that's,
there.
that was more so geared towards warehouses. I don't think that's really apples to apples.
I don't know, it's zoning though. Can you answer my question, just for, make sure we're not on shaky ground?
You can. I forget the provision that allows for the, conditions on the zoning, restricting uses. I would just say that would be a rare situation to do that.
So it's your opinion, we can restrict permitted uses with the
You-
zoning?
You
I'm good.
can, it'd be a conditional zoning for that particular use. Like I said,
So this will be a conditional zoning. Does that need to be noted in the motion?
yeah, because you're going to place conditions on it.
Okay.
And again, we've got to have a public hearing to know.
Did the applicant have an issue
Considering, but-
with that motion at the planning board?
No, they did not.
Okay.
I'm generally not a fan of that generally, but when you're possibly considering something in a more of a residential area that's a service and you're trying to, find a fit that's good for the area.
No, I like it.
It's
I
not
just
a
want to make
bad
sure it
thing.
would stick. I
Yeah.
didn't want somebody, then it gets sold in some other kind
That's
of
right.
store goes
That's
there.
right.
and-
That's
and
exactly why we
may
did
say-
it on Hodgeville, because we had surrounding neighbors, that.
But we did it as conditional zoning. apparently.
Okay, for that use, but they didn't want 10 other uses coming after that.
Yeah.
All right, we can move forward. We just make sure if we approve or deny, it says a conditional zoning.
And they got a restaurant, been there for years and years right there, right next to the creek, and there's a service station across from them.
Right, I saw that and I read that. I just want to make sure that.
I don't
not
see
when-
anything in the B1 zoning list here that would be
That wouldn't be.
any more impactful than a pizza restaurant anyway.
We may not have to restrict it, but I just,
Yeah, I
that's
understand.
what the recommendation was. I want to make sure we can legally do that, and it sounds like we can.
Depends on what kind of
So we'll open a
private club
public
it is.
hearing. Anyone speaking for or against this request tonight? Rezoning.
I just like the question that you're asking about whether you can or can't. And I think you should consider the takings clause when addressing things like this.
The what clause?
The takings clause, the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Sure.
If you restrict somebody's property, it could be considered a takings clause violation.
And
I don't know if
I
it
agree with
does.
you completely.
I'm just saying, I like the question that he's asking.
Yeah.
Are we on shaky ground?
Right.
Because the takings clause is important to the Constitution. You can't restrict somebody's, you take value from the property by
Right, I think
restricting
that's why our
it.
attorney said we had to make it a conditional zoning.
Right, but I'm just saying I like the question.
I appreciate it.
The
You know,
the
once in a while I
request
come
has
up
to
with that
originate from the petitioner.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
And I think that's the right way to do it.
Right, and I was just saying, I like the question, I like how you're thinking about these things where,
Appreciate
you
it.
know, that you're
Thank
not
you.
on shaky ground or not.
Thank you, sir. Anybody speaking in favor of this request or in opposition? Hey, we all like pizza in our neighborhood. There's no issue there.
You made me nervous. I was like, he wasn't at the last meeting.
Do you want to speak to it? I don't know if it's necessary, but you're welcome to.
Oh, we are the applicants.
Right. Let's see if there's any questions or any opposition. If there is, we'll give you an opportunity to speak that way and save a little time.
Okay,
maybe for
sounds
everybody.
good.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone speak in opposition tonight? All right, well, the attorney answered my question. So is any discussion on the board, or I'll entertain a motion? Close the
No,
public hearing.
I told someone, I haven't received any comments or concerns in the community. But I was telling somebody, I grew up in Stillwell. Growing up, I would have loved to have had a pizza shop relatively close.
That'd be close to me.
That's what but yeah, I'm gonna defer and see what you got, what your guys' thoughts are on the conditions placing on it,
Well,
or.
my question then Mr. Lee, if you could, with the clerk, tell me, the way it reads, it's got conditions. Is that considered a conditional use? I don't need to ask for a conditional zoning? Approve alternative one? Are you good with that?
You can, if you're gonna go with the conditions that planning board put on it. If you're not changing any of those conditions, adding or taking away, then it would be you would make the motion to approve it as planning board presented it.
Okay. So
Mr. Chairman?
that'd be our normal motion, yes.
The conditional zoning does require that the applicant given the opportunity to accept the conditions or withdraw. So
Let's do
as a
that.
requirement
The
in the
applicant come
ordinance.
forward, please. I'm gonna read this to you, and if you are offering these conditions to us to accept these, then we'll make a motion to approve alternative one.
Right.
Alternative one reads this way: approve the request for variance with the following conditions, and I'm asking if you'll accept these. I'm on the wrong one here. Okay, Long Bridge, item number 14.
Page 277. The bottom.
It's 13 in it.
Bottom of page 277.
Well, I don't have that. I've got.
Oh, it's PDF page, well, it's 277.
Well, I've got, I just.
Just the top
I
of
just-
278, actually, to
Give me just
approve.
another minute and I'll be up here to read it. All right, approval of the request to rezone 1.1 acres from AR1 to B1 to allow for a small pizza restaurant with the following conditions. I'm asking you to accept these. A subdivision plat must be approved by Development Services and be recorded before the rezoning can take effect. The applicant shall obtain and keep a good standing the Effingham County Occupational Tax Certificate, that's a business license. A sketch plan will be required. All buffers to the residential parcel must be 50 feet and include a privacy fence no closer than 5 feet to the property line and cannot exceed 7 foot in height. And this is the key one we need you to accept. The only use that will be allowed with this B1 district is cafe and restaurants. All other allowed B1 uses will be prohibited. You accept that?
Yes, I accept it.
Okay. Does that satisfy Lee?
And it's not to say that another use that's not good for the community and wanted to change use and it was good for the community,
can
you
come
can
to
come
us.
back.
I mean, I do
You
agree
know,
that most of the things listed would be probably less invasive than a cafe, so I don't understand the restrictions necessarily, but
That was where my question came from. I just didn't see why we need to restrict it to that.
it seems
but
like the cafe restaurant would be the most, but that's, I mean, we
I'm with
accept
you.
if that's
that's
what
my
needs to be
question,
done to
why
get
we
it approved.
Restrict it, but
Might have something to do with your neighbors, thinking, hey, we got a pizza restaurant, and all of a sudden, what happened? There's a dry cleaners there,
Yeah,
and
okay.
And this,
Yeah.
this isn't typical. It's because of this area's heavy residential, so we just try to work and try to make it a good fit.
if something changes, you can come back and get a variance from that, because there are permitted uses there I'm sure we would accept. But we have an understanding. How about a motion to approve that they've accepted it? Alternative one.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion to approve alternative one, and second by Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Loper. And that's with planning board and staff recommendations. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously.
Thank you
I
very
made
much.
that about
I
as difficult as
appreciate
I
it.
can make it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we should be able to have the second reading. We didn't change anything.
The planning board recommends approving this at second reading. Get my notes here. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Kathy Mezer to rezone 1.01 acres located at Long Bridge Road from AR1 to B1 to allow for a small pizza restaurant, map number 445, parcel number 19, the 5th District. Motion to approve second reading.
Make a motion to approve second reading.
second.
Motion, Mr. Kiefer, second, Mr. Loper, to approve second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 15, Planning Board recommends approving an application by Kimberly Lopez to rezone 2.21 acres located at 156 Trish Way from AR1 to AR2 to allow for a subdivision to create a new home site, map number 434, parcel number 20 in the 2nd District.
Yes, sir. So the applicant would like to subdivide the 2.21 acres to allow for a new home site. Each home will be on private well and septic. Staff and planning board recommend alternative number one.
open a public hearing and see if there's anyone speaking in favor or against. If you're not, anyone speaking against it tonight? Seeing no one, I don't know that you need to speak because we're pretty good on these type of subdivisions. All right, I'm gonna close the public hearing then, see if there's any questions or a motion to approve alternative one.
It's pretty cut and dry. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Burdette, second by Mr. Deloach to approve. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Second reading, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Kimberly Lopez to rezone 2.21 acres located at 156 Trish Way from AR1 to AR2 to allow for a subdivision to create a new home site, map number 434, parcel number 20 in the second district. Motion?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Burdette, second, Mr. Deloach, to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. That was pretty painless. Item number 17, consideration to approve application by Michael Redmond to rezone 1.1 acres located at 515 Goshen Road from AR1 to AR2 to allow for the creation of a new home site, map number 466, parcel number 1 in the second district.
Yes, sir. So this parcel is currently 8.83 acres with one dwelling on it. The applicant would like to subdivide 1.01 acres, again, to create a new home site. This rezoning is consistent with the future land use map. Mr. Redmond did go before the planning board on Wednesday, January 10th, and planning board did recommend approval. So planning board and staff recommend alternative number 1.
But we don't have much about planning board in here.
Yes, sir. So it just went on January 10th. So that was after being able to upload everything for you for this meeting. So I just wanted you to make note that planning board did recommend alternative number 1 as well.
Okay.
Very good. We're in a public hearing. Anyone speaking in opposition? Seeing no one, I'll see if somebody wants to speak in favor, but I don't think it's necessary. You've sat there an awful long time. If you want to say something, you can. You good? I'm going to close the public hearing and see if there's any discussion or motion.
I was at the planning board meeting. Looks like everything's,
Yeah.
by the book.
Make a motion to
I
approve.
noticed when I went through there's nothing in there about the planning board. I got it marked in my book, 17 and 18. Didn't- According to this, it didn't go to the planning board, but
But she said it did, yeah, and got approved.
she explained what happened, so.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Burdette.
Yeah, I didn't
Second.
finish. Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Second, Mr. Deloach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. We'll do the second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Michael Redmond to rezone 1.1 acres located at 515 Goshen Road from AR1 to AR2 to allow for the creation of a new home site, map number 466, parcel number 1 in the second district. Motion?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Burdette, second Mr. Deloach to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. That's a long time to sit there for that little bit, wasn't it? All righty. Number 19, coming to our last couple items. Planning Board recommends approval of an application by J. Malpin, Malpin Engineering Incorporated, as agent for Oleg Michnik for a sketch plan located on Highway 21 for Dickey Track, map zone B3, map number 465 and 465D, parcel number 1 and 9B in the 5th district. This is related to number 9 that we just did, right, with the variance. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Samantha Easton, Planner 2. The applicant is requesting approval for Dickey Track sketch plan. The variance was approved earlier in the night. The parcel has to be recombined. It is in the process. Just needs to finish up with the tax assessors. Access will be to Commercial Drive, and staff and planning board recommend alternative 1.
Okay. Is there any question or discussion?
Aside from the recombination, everything appears to be compliant with ordinance, right?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion, or is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the sketch plan as presented.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second Mr. Loper to approve the sketch plan as presented. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Last item, number 20, the Planning Board recommends approval for an application by Brandon Long as agent for Braley Investment Properties LLC for a sketch plan located at 817 US Highway 80 for Waste Doctors LLC, Zone B3, map number 302, parcel number 102 in the 1st District.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Samantha Easton, Planner 2. The applicant is requesting approval for his sketch plan. The applicant is showing adequate buffering to all property lines. The access is to Highway 80, and applicant has been in contact with GDOT, and access to Dogwood is prohibited from the rezoning. Staff and planning board recommend alternative 1.
Okay, any question or discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I need to flip over here to my list of questions and concerns on this.
We put you last on the agenda on purpose. That's fine, trying to help how we can.
This is a lot of discussion.
Well, hearing no discussion, questions, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Floyd, second by Mr. Deloach to approve the second reading, approve the sketch plan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no no's, it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
It's a long time to sit there for that little minute, but you consider yourself blessed. The planning part went by a lot faster than it normally does. You could have been here a lot longer. We did. All right, I don't see any other items on here, so that concludes our business, other than back to our staff reports. Let's see.
Yes, I've got just a introduction I wanted to make. We've got our new county engineer here, Jonathan Holm. He started last week, 2 weeks ago. And he joins us from Moffitt Nichols engineering firm in Savannah. And we're happy to have him. I've already thrown him into the fire, so he's got a lot of work. So that's him.
Has he already saved us some money?
What'd you say?
Has he already saved us some money?
Not
Sure
yet.
hope so.
I'll let you know, though.
Welcome.
Welcome. Good to have you, Jonathan.
Yeah, looking forward to working with y'all.
Yeah. All right. Great place to be. Do you live up in this area too?
I will, February 1st.
Outstanding.
I'll be over in Ramsey Landing, so.
Very good.
District 5 up
Well, welcome to Effingham as
Yep.
well as to the
Awesome.
county staff. Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Uh-huh, thank y'all.
Very good. Tim, do you have anything else tonight?
That's all
We
I
got a
got.
workshop coming up, so most everything we can handle there, I'm sure.
That's correct, right.
All right.
And, just real briefly, if you have items that you want on that workshop mentioned, by all means, send it my way. We will be doing a follow-up and then some other issues, a follow-up from our last workshop and then some new items.
Do you have kind of somewhat of an agenda already, just so we don't send you?
Yes, we're working on, we're actually have our meeting on it tomorrow. So we'll be able to kind of hopefully get out some topics before the end of the week to y'all.
Yeah, even if you don't have an agenda direction, just the topics, so we can not repeat stuff. I was talking with the clerk today, I would really like for us to look at our senior citizens, and maybe we've already done that. I couldn't remember if we've done some study on that, building, location, improvements with the growing county. I want to make sure we're meeting the needs of our senior citizens in those
Oh,
areas.
the senior center.
Senior center,
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
What's our format? Saturday and Sunday, I'm assuming? Okay.
All day Saturday, 9 to 12 on Sunday.
Check-in Friday
We
night.
should be able to get a lot done. That'd be good. Be very good. Okay, anything else
That's all I got.
about from our clerk? Okay. Any rest of the staff? Do we have a need for executive session tonight? Sounds good to me, because it's getting cold outside. We have some executive session minutes to consider approved for December 5th. Do you have a motion? Do you want to pass those out to us so we can see those,
You gonna take reports from commissioners, or?
if you want to?
Okay. I just had a few questions.
No, we should.
Did you were coming back to it?
Yeah, I was coming back to it.
Okay.
Let me load the dart gun here.
So while you're reading that, we'll go around the room and see if there's anything from the commissioners. If anybody wants to you don't have to stay if your business has already been transacted. You won't bother us, because I know it's getting cold out there. And if you need to get home, protect your homes, that's fine. Got anything from first district, second district?
Just a couple of quick things. From the TAB meeting, just something out of curiosity. Are you guys using the map software that we introduced about a year ago for any part of that, as far as roads or anything?
Are you talking about road condition map?
Yeah.
Yes. And so when we, that helped us create the T-Splost list.
Right.
And so, so what we talked about today was that, was the first batch of roads from the T-Splost list. And those, we use the map as one of the items, to generate that.
And I'll be quick. So that's incorporated. The roundabouts in my district.
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to get those in before the parkway. 'Cause I know it's,
Oh, well,
we're now
let me try and think here.
Now trying to acquire right-of-way right now.
Yes, I think so.
We found out it wasn't gonna be as difficult as we thought, because we're not gonna have to move the utilities.
Yeah, we won't have to close the road because we won't have to move the utility.
Right, from a design
But
standpoint.
it still, it still restricts a lane for a little bit. And so if we're looking at summer of '25, then I think we should be in good shape, barring any major holdup on right-of-way, which I don't think we're going to have.
Good.
We should be able to get those done, because those can be in construction during the winter.
And I think that'll be the least complicated for constituents if we don't mess that road up during the school year.
Totally, yeah.
Parkway opens, and we're looking at maybe finding access to get to the parkway so they can miss.
And I noticed
Hodgeville.
the date on the GDOT report was different for the completion of the parkway than what's on the website. So which one's right?
Well, they creatively use the term summer
Summer.
of 2025,
sure.
and technically,
That's kind of past summer. isn't it? Or I guess it is.
summer doesn't end till September 21st.
Okay, so,
So,
there you go.
so one says September, the other says summer.
Summer, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're technically within those
So they've
boundaries.
extended
right.
it again then, because it was May or then June, and now it's September.
Yeah, it's been July now, August and September. so
That's
far.
right. Yeah, so it changed 2 times. It went from April to June, and then June to July, and then July to September, so.
Crazy.
That's all I got, just quick. Thank you.
Okay. From the third district?
I'm sure you're gonna do this, but I just wanna make sure we're strategic on our next T-Splost, project list. And I know we've already talked about that a little bit, Tim. And going forward, as we come up with this projects in the list, I just wanna make sure we're getting it out, PR-wise, just to keep everybody updated, which I know the first time was our first go-around. This is the second go-around, and it looks like this will be a little smoother, with our second go-around.
And I think if you might have noticed actually that was LMIG when it came out. Allison is now coordinating with Mark. So when he knows the streets are getting paved, he'll go out there immediately and take pictures right after it's done and post them, just so we can get the folks done, so folks can see that the work is getting done timely.
Okay, very good. That's all I got.
And before I move on down to the fourth district, I mentioned to you about that collaborative opportunity, collaborative build.
Yes.
I'd really like for you to look at some dates and see if we can learn more about that. It's a process by which we got so many projects in place that we might could bring suppliers, and not just engineers and contractors, but bring them together to guarantee we have the materials when we want to do it and fix some costs. And I understand it may not cost you anything, but I'd be in the position if it cost a little more and we got it done faster for all we got to do with our water and sewer and lines and so forth. I'd love to look at that collaborative build. So encourage you to I've given my calendar, to get the calendars, and let's see if we can't get with the people who understand that
Gotcha.
new concept of collaborative build that many counties and cities are doing. We might want to jump on board that bandwagon.
Yep.
Fourth district? Fifth district?
Me, DRT. We were making progress there for a while, and I know the holidays hit. But it was bad yesterday, and that was just another day. But I feel like on our on-site meeting, we were really getting close to what possibly was the culprit. but I'm trying to, do we possibly, can we get with DPD in Atlanta and maybe get with them as far as,
I could talk to Representative Hitchens, see if he can try and set something up, just to, just to make, because they weren't at that,
correct?
that site tour that we did,
Yeah.
and so make sure that they know they're looking at the right place.
What I'm really after, and I've been trying to get it, maybe staff can help, their particular wastewater system, I know it's being hauled off-site, but there's some processing done, separating or something, and I don't understand that process, trying to understand that, what they're permitted to do. And I don't know if there's a way to try to see how often they're hauling products off. It has to be pretty often. If in October they use 5 million gallons. So,
5 million.
I mean, it's at least once a day, because they said there was something
I
like.
haven't done them, yeah.
Something
I
like.
know there's evaporation, so obviously
Yeah,
what
50,000 gallons a day or something like that. They
Yeah.
gave us that quote, that they have to haul off.
Okay.
So we can find out.
Well, I just want to stay on top of that. Again, hasn't gotten any better.
Gotcha.
So, we'll talk later. I wonder what the process is too, are they using belt presses like we do, or are they doing anything to condense it? Because just take 5 million gallons of water, it may only be 100,000 gallons of sludge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's, whatever their permitted process is, through EPD, I'm trying to figure out what that is.
That might be a good thing to see if we can understand better. What's
Yeah,
that?
even if it's just
Yeah.
kind of an educational with DPD. I mean, I assume it's an approved.
Yeah, it's when they were supposed to, when they started off, they were supposed to send their wastewater to Springfield, and they were supposed to pre-treat it on site. And so that's where they had these basins that are exposed to the air that the waste material goes in, where they still pre-treat it, but it's before they send it off to wherever they're sending it off to get dumped in the tanker truck. So we could probably get a better understanding of that process. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about that process. Matter of fact, we only saw it on a video, and we asked a question. That's how we knew about it. But they were kind of talking about the other processes, but not the waste process. So, but we know that's one of the areas they're looking at.
I think it'd be great to get a meeting with EPD to find out just education, more information. And are we going to be meeting with EPA up there about some of the things we've been talking about?
Who?
Not EPA, the water division.
We could try. It's going to be a tight schedule because we don't have a lot of time on Tuesday because we got a meeting that night.
We talked about seeing, but maybe that's another meeting. We just go
Yeah.
separately, see if we get support for some of the ideas we have.
Yeah,
That'll be another time, maybe.
yeah, that's what I would guess.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, do I have a motion to approve the executive session minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Burdette to approve the executive session minutes as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, that passes unanimously. Our attorney says there's no need for executive session. If no one else has a need, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Burdette to adjourn this meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, we are adjourned.